What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. It's R3 Speed and Fabrication. Got a little bit of a different kind of video today. We got a video about data, okay? Something I see on a regular basis, and it's very relevant and fresh right now for me in my mind just because we just got done with Garnett. Napa Night Race. Thank you, Jeff Mills. Thank you, everybody who was involved. Being able to put that race on and make it happen. Really cool to be a part of it. Looking forward to going back already next year. And I'm sure it'll be a bigger and better event. But what I was specifically thinking about, okay, is for me, first weekend back in the kart, first race day. I'm not going to say the first race day in the 206 because we did run it at Hallett. First sprint race, okay, in LO206 Master. Also, the first time ever in a go-kart for me, I had to add weight on the kart. That was a nice change. I enjoyed that. Getting sidetracked here already, early into the video. Fresh from Garnett, okay? We were really busy. It was a thrash to get the kart done and get it on track in time. Wednesday before the race, we made it out to Liberty. I ran two 15-lap sessions just to try and get kind of a feel for everything, make sure nothing was going to fall off the cart. I was reasonably close. We didn't have a problem that we didn't realize, right? Seat wasn't rubbing on the engine. I mean, anything major like that. Didn't change anything. Just went out and ran some laps. Basically changed the gear to go to Garnett, and off we went. Getting out to Garnett, right, once we got there, I mean, it was a whirlwind, an absolute trash of a weekend. And my racing is, real down low on the totem pole of importance, okay? We got customer carts, we got RJ, Wes, Kelly's, anybody that, we're working with. I mean, all that takes priority to me over my own racing. Maybe at some point in time that'll be different. Right now, I'm kind of racing to have fun because I want to race. It's a good outlet for me. I miss being behind the wheel. I think that's going to help me help more people, right? And then I certainly think hopefully development with the chassis getting better will result in more information coming out to everybody ultimately. But short term, right, we got out there and, Friday made some laps, didn't get a bunch of laps in just because we was busy with everything else. Okay, so I'm going to focus on Saturday and ran, a couple sessions on Saturday and got down to a pretty good clip, a 28:18. Okay, I had a session where I ran a 28:18 and a couple laps right around that time. Pretty consistent. Once I kind of got there, I had 3 or 4 laps in a row that were pretty consistent, right? And here's the key for all this, right? Is that that was a lap time that probably would have qualified me in the top 5. Granted, track conditions were changing, right? There was a lot of different things happening, but from the way the kart was, it probably had pace to do that. Now, I didn't take the time to stop and look at data. Okay, there's a million reasons why I didn't do this. Probably the biggest one being, and it's an excuse, but I waited too long. I had a AIM, a 5.2T that was not functioning correctly. I had talked to AIM about it. I sent it back in to have them fix it. Great people to work with, by the way. I strongly recommend the Mychron and AIM to anybody in karting. And if you're new getting in, if you're looking at a system, great people to work with, awesome customer support. If a gauge functions, the head unit itself ever goes bad, they will fix that at no cost. You pay to ship it out, you pay to ship it back. They'll update it, fix it, and you're good to go. So I didn't get it back in time. So it's kind of switching back and forth, gauges off carts, and then finally ended up settling on the 4. I had an old 4, and the 4 is just not quite as user-friendly. It's just a little bit more work to get the data out of it than the 5. And was so busy and caught up with stuff, looking at other people's data, right, focusing on that stuff, not on my own stuff, that I didn't take the time to look at this. Okay, and that's really unfortunate because it cost me, a lot of time. It cost me finishing positions, probably, some parts, a chain. I mean, it was a mistake. Okay, it's a lesson learned, and it's a lesson I'm trying to pass along to everybody else so you don't make this mistake. So, didn't take the time to look at data. Even though the pace on the kart was pretty quick, I wasn't super thrilled with the way that it was driving. I thought there was definitely more time that was there given what I'm used to in a kart, which is a shifter kart with front brakes, and you drive that completely different than the way that you're going to drive a 206 with rear brakes, right? Any event, basically probably thought I was smarter than I was, and started educated guessing at stuff, throwing stuff on the wall to see what was going to stick to what was going to try and go faster. Well, I didn't go faster, right? I started going slower, and I made another change, and then I went even slower. And then at that point, now I was really getting tired. Now it's time to race, and now I'm totally lost, scrambling, and I should have just put the kart right back to the way that it was when I ran this 28:18. And that lap was almost identical. It was just a little bit narrower in the front end than GFC recommends, right? How Gary says you want to set the karts up right out of the box. They work right out of the box pretty good. Obviously, there's always adjustments in time that you can make depending on your application, your track, your tire, conditions, etc. That's a different video for a different day. What we're focusing on today, right, is the mistake of not taking the time to look at the data. Okay, I got the data on the kart. I didn't take the time to download the data and look at the data just because I was going off a gut feel, which was a bad mistake. I changed it based off of that. Got slower, got to the race, and you're done. Okay, it is over by that point in time. And the information that would have been super relevant to me, that would have helped avoid this problem more than anything else. I'm going to try and switch you guys over here and just bring this over so you can see what I'm talking about. But this is the split report. Okay, it's available right up there on your top. Okay, when you've downloaded your data, you got channels report, split times report. It's right there. You click on that button and it brings all this up. So over here you can see my best lap, a 28:18. And then again, that consistency that I was thinking that I had, right? A 23 and then an 18 after it. But the number that's important that I should have looked at is right down here. Okay, your theoretical best, which 27:76. That's no good. Okay, is what this boils down to. That is not good. And the reason it's not good is I sit here and jack with this for 5 minutes. Is that's all driving. Okay, that has nothing to do with setup. What that means is the kart was capable of running a 27:76. If you add up all your best sector times, which the split report will do, okay, it breaks you down turn by turn, sector by sector, and then it adds all those numbers up, and that's how you get your theoretical best. So I didn't take the time to look at this. If I would have taken the time to look at this, I would have realized quickly that I was almost a half a second off on the theoretical versus what I ran, and that's just pure driving, 100% on me. Now, you're never going to get to your theoretical best, right? You can get close to it. I mean, with RJ, with the drivers that we work with that are a little more seasoned, have some experience, we generally allow for like 2/10. I really don't want to see more than a 2/10 variation on that. If you're over that, it generally means don't change the kart. Okay, it means the kart is faster just the way it sits. Go out, work on driving, find the corners that's causing you to not be consistent. Okay, to find where the biggest splits are, right? The most mistakes that you're making. Focus on those corners, work on those corners, go back out. And I feel very confident in saying that the way that the kart was at this time, if I would have left it and gone back out, I probably could have gone back out and run, a 27.9. The kart was capable of that, clearly had that in there. Probably if I would have I was still kind of changing gearing, so if I would have just maybe continued along with a gear change and worked on driving, pretty confident, right? Would have had a much better result for the weekend. So I'm getting at all this because, for me, I like making changes. I like seeing what works, what doesn't work. I feel like there's almost always something else that you can do to get there, but that's an extreme, right? And it can be a bad mentality to take into your race weekend and into your program because you can get off track in a really big hurry. So this is a report that it's an easy piece of data to get to. It's simple. Okay, it's not overwhelming. There are a million things that you can do with data on this to get more information out of it. But I see so many people, they've got the Mychron 5, or they've got the Alfano system. They're not using it for anything other than lap times, excuse me. And that's great, okay? But it's the most powerful thing you've got, okay? Especially if you're working with a younger driver, experienced, you're inexperienced yourself. The information that you're going to get off of this, you just cannot put a dollar amount around it, right? You've invested money to get a gauge. They're not cheap. You do have to have a laptop. You do have to have a tablet. You do have to have something to download this data on. You can't do it on your phone that I'm aware of right now. I think with the Alfano, maybe you can. The Mychron, not right now. I think that's something they're working on. I don't really think I'd want to look at this on my phone anyway. On a laptop, it can be difficult because there's a lot going on and it's a lot of information. So that's what I see. I mean, people get overwhelmed, okay? If you don't have a laptop, that's understandable, right? If you're at the track, I would almost guarantee you someone would let you use theirs. Certainly, if you're at the track and you'd like to look at this, you don't have one, we're happy to take a few minutes to at least show you a couple of things. It's a worthwhile tool to invest in, and you will get better as a result of it. Your program will get better as a result of it. You'll find time in your driving, and you'll be able to just improve overall as a result. So that's really what I wanted to take a minute to touch on today. Use the tools that you have. Everybody, again, for the most part, has got this on the cart, and it can be a huge sounding board back to tell you, maybe what to look at next, what the most important thing to look at next is going to be. For now, it's the end of the month, and I'm pretty busy with work, so I'm going to get back to it. Trying to take advantage of this really nice weather tomorrow. It's supposed to be pretty cool, and go out and run some test laps, practice laps, work on data, work on driving, okay? Try and get a little bit better, try and get our arms around the new GFC. For me, get comfortable, get up to speed, plan on running the next Liberty race August 6th. Also, we'll be out there August 7th is the race. Sunday, August 6th, Saturday, we'll be out, R3 Speed Fab, we'll be out full team, and we're going to have demos available that day. We're going to be doing mini data sessions. I've already got several spots booked up, so if you've got any interest in going out there and working on something like this, working on something with the chassis, whatever it may be more than happy to try and be of help on that day. And if not, hopefully we see you all for the next race again, Sunday, August 6th. Have a great afternoon, people. Have a great weekend. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, it's R3 Speed and Fabrication. Peace.